What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. Oh my God, guys. Back once again, another Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Just want to make sure everything looks good and sounds good. So if you guys can drop a 1 in the chat, we're going to hop straight into the content tonight, guys. Looks like we're back on it again. For those of you that have been living under a rock, and those of you that have not, everybody has heard about this topic before, but there's always a little something that is coming up to be added, that may kind of throw a little twist in there, and it may make you wonder. I know you saw that thumbnail. Let me just take a look at it again myself real quick. It looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. Hold on, just bear with me, guys. This is a live show. I want to give a big shout out for everybody that is tuning in. As you come into the show, please drop a 1 in the chat. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good, and also hit that like button for me, guys. It really does help out the show. And let me hop over here and make sure that the Facebook crew is up and running. So just bear with me. All right, let's see. All right, so yeah, we have some things going over here on the Facebook side of things too, guys. All right, let's see. CT says it's clickbait. Is it clickbait? Oh no, partner, this is not clickbait. So yeah, we have some real interesting topics that we're going to be talking about. All right, so just bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to get the Facebook crew over here. Make sure you guys can join in on the festivities, join in on the information, the conversation, drop some information for you and see what you guys think about it. All right, so for the format of the show, for anybody that is new to the show, welcome. We meet each week Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and of course sometimes we drop a kind of a spur of the moment live stream sometime throughout the week, just depending on what is happening. And also I do some on the water lives where I'm out there using my electronics of all things that we're going to be talking about. But just want to welcome everybody to the show. What we are going to do, I have a few video clips that I'm going to play with some very interesting information. I will definitely be active in the chat and give a big shout out to the chat. This is the best chat on YouTube, guys. We are in here chopping it up. We have differences of opinions at times. There's a little bit of butting heads, but it's all respectable. We're able to get in here and just kind of exchange some ideas, and sometimes we may come out learning some things that we didn't necessarily agree with from the beginning. But of course, this is one of those topics where it's kind of swaying back and forth, and I can tell you that from the beginning of this when this conversation started coming up to now, I'm kind of seeing I'm kind of being swayed a little bit, just a little bit, guys. All right, so what I'm going to do is just share my screen, pull up a few video clips. We're going to play those. Then I will definitely be active in the chat, guys. This is a very interactive show. I will also drop a call-in link. What that call-in link is it will allow you to come up on the screen. Just make sure your camera is on, make sure you're cammed up, and then we're gonna just listen to you, maybe a minute or two, just listen to you, see what your thoughts are, opinions, suggestions on the topic. All right, let's see. All right, so just bear with me, guys. So this is what we are going to be talking about. And like I said, we're going to get straight into it, guys. No need for long intros or any of that. So this is hot off the presses, guys. This is hot off the presses. Bam, there we go. Does anybody have an idea of what this video clip is that we're about to take a look at? Does anybody know? Has anybody already seen this information? Drop it in the chat. Like I said, this is very interactive, guys. I want to see what podcast is this from. Actually, it's already on the screen. So I kind of gave it away, but this is from the Chris Zaldain and Trait Zaldain podcast. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is probably one of the top, if not the top podcast that is currently out. So they definitely have some great guests in here. They're always going over some very interesting topics and information. And it appears they're not scared to drop names either. So we're going to hear some of the names that they have been dropping, guys. So like I said, this is going to be interesting. And also do not forget, the thing that kind of sets this apart here is that I drop the live call-in link so that you guys can come up here each week and voice your thoughts and opinions. You never know who is watching, who is listening, or who may be in the chat. So, and one other thing before I go ahead and hit this play button. I had a very interesting conversation with Randy Blaukat. Some of you guys saw that live. And I have some clips from that I will play that kind of coincide with the topic that we're going to be talking about tonight. All right, so let's just go ahead and hop straight into it, guys. They are going to be talking about, some changes that the anglers are kind of banding together. And, I think that forward-facing sonar thing, it's getting kind of shaky. It's getting kind of shaky. But let's just listen up and see what they have to say, guys.
This is not confidential at all because it's not an official BASS email, but one of the anglers yesterday wrote an email to about 83 anglers only because he didn't have a lot of the new emails on tour. But he said, hey guys, I think it's about time for anglers to get together and have a meeting. It's been way too long. It's been a few years since we've had an angler meeting to discuss leadership, what is right and what is wrong in our sport. And there was another thing too, but essentially a disgruntled angler that wants to get everyone together. And I immediately read that and saw it and says, I replied back and replied all and said, I approve this. Like, I agree with this. And then since then, overnight, Gerald Swindle, Matt Herron, Wes Logan, and a couple other guys were like, hell yes, this needs to happen. This absolutely needs to happen right now.
Oh, my goodness, guys. Did you hear the names that he dropped? Did you hear the names? What were the names that he dropped? He said Gerald Swindle, Matt Herron, and Wes Logan. Does anybody happen to know who these guys are? The other thing that I forgot to mention, guys, is we drop polls during this live stream. And what those polls do is kind of gauge the room to see what you guys are thinking, to just kind of see, who is in the chat, who is watching, who is here during the live stream. It is always best to catch these during the live, guys, because like I said, I'm very interactive with the chat. We have the live call in. So if you are catching it during the actual live stream, when I drop that link, go ahead and click it and I'll bring you up. But the thing that we need to do first, guys, let's hop in here and let's start a poll. Let's go ahead and get this first poll going, guys. And while I'm typing this poll, I'm going to check my likes. Are you guys taking care of me on the likes? The likes are free. All you have to do is, just kind of tap that like button, guys, and it really does help the channel out. All right, so for this first poll, to gauge the room, we're going to see where we're at with this topic. All right, so this first poll, we're just going to start it off quick and simple. So let me see, forward-facing sonar be removed or limited from pro fishing, in pro fishing? So that is going to be the first question. And the reasoning behind that is so that we can gauge the room to kind of see where we're at, see if we're 50-50, maybe one side may be leaning more than the other one, but that'll kind of gauge the room to see where we're at, guys, as we continue with this conversation and also these clips that I'm going to be playing. And, as I pull you guys up on the screens to see what you have to say. All right, so the first question is, and bear with me, like I said, once again, this is a live show. Should forward-facing sonar, so we're talking about Livescope, we're talking about Mega Live, and also Active Target. Those are the top three out there in that industry right now. So should forward-facing sonar be banned or limited, either one of those? Let's see. In pro, let's put some respect on them. Let's capitalize that in pro fishing. And of course, you guys know that if it starts off at the pro level, it kind of trickles down to the lower levels too, guys. All right, and this one we will keep it simple with a yes and with a no. All right, so that poll is up and running. And if I see some people in here, so shout out to the money team, shout out to Don Barks. He says it'll be limited. So he thinks something's going to change. He's not saying he's going with the ban yet, but he says it'll be limited. So that poll is live and in action, guys. Make sure you participate in the polls. Definitely make sure you participate in the chat. Even if you're not necessarily there for the conversation, there are a lot of people in here. Like I said before, you never know who is watching. So you can get in here and do some networking. You never know who is fishing the same lakes as you, the same tournaments in the same area. I mean, you may find your next best fishing buddy in here. So make sure you get active in the chat. All right. And so that poll is up and running. I see you guys getting active on that. Now, let's check my likes, and then we're going to get back into this video. But I need to make sure that my likes are looking lovely. How do my likes look? Ah, come on, guys. I know we have some fishermen in the live stream. Could you at least just set the hook on the like button for me, guys. So all you have to do is there's a little thumbs up down there. Just put the mouse over there and click, click. Just tap it real quick. That kind of keeps the show going. It pushes it out so that we will have more participation and people that are coming into the live stream. All right, so let's hop back over here. So that poll is active. Make sure you guys participate in the poll. The live streams always build off of the participation from the chat, guys. All right, so let's just listen to a little more of what Chris Zaldain had to say. All right, here we go.
Why do you think that email was popped up like that?
I mean, I've always been that guy that it's either black or it's white.
Yeah.
There's no gray area.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when we start playing in the gray, that's when it goes bad.
Yeah.
Right. So like I said, I've always been that black and white kind of guy. It's either black or it's white. And we got a lot of gray going on right now.
No doubt.
And look, when we're fishing for the money we fish for, and guys that think they can get over and get a competitive advantage, they're going to push that gray area as much as they can until either one, they completely break a rule, or they get caught for something, or so we're just in one of them. I'm just going to say we're in one of them big gray areas right now.
We really are.
You know what I mean? It's
all right. So that kind of falls in line with a lot of the things that you've been hearing lately with disqualifications, people receiving penalties and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's just a new era with the younger generation that is now getting into the fishing industry and everything. So they're not as seasoned. So it's like, to me, I just kind of look at it as the statement that people are always say, hey, we need to grow the industry. Well, these are some of the growing pains that are coming along with that. So, I mean, like I said, make sure you guys continue to get active in the chat. All right. So let me just skip to this other part. There's another part in here. Make sure that you guys watch this entire live stream. So this is from the Zaldangerous with Chris Zaldain and Trait Zaldain. I mean, like I said, I think they have one of the best, if not the best, podcast that is on YouTube, guys. I mean, you know, I may be a close second, maybe. All right, so let's listen to this other segment in here, and let's see. And I'm going to drop the live call-in link in just a second, guys. All right, so let's see. Let me get this queued up. Just bear with me. Like I said, this is a live show. You guys are catching this live. So this is how we do it over here when you're checking out MoneyBass. All right, so now let's listen to this next segment and see what these guys have to say. And as we get into the forward-facing sonar, discussion, of course, there's going to be a lot of people who are strongly feel one way, people who strongly feel the other way, and those that are kind of in the middle with everything. So I really do want to hear from both sides of of this discussion, because there are valid points on each side, guys. All right, so let me just check this poll real quick to see how you guys are participating, and let's see if you guys are treat me right on my likes. You have to treat me right. You got to treat the host right with the likes. Okay, they're kind of inching up. Can I get 11 more likes, guys? I just need 11 more. Just hit me up with 11 more likes. All right, so right now we have a decent amount of people who have participated in the poll. So should forward-facing sonar be banned or limited in pro fishing? Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Things are changing. Things are definitely changing, guys. Was Randy Blaukat right? All right. So we're at 57% of you guys are saying yes. 57% of you are now saying yes. If you think back to whenever we were first having these discussions on this channel, and I was putting these type of polls up, the numbers were nowhere near the percentages that they're at now. So now we're at 60% of you are saying yes, and we have 40% are saying no.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I mean, this really surprises me. I did not think that it had changed that much from the last time that we had the discussion, guys, but things are definitely changing. All right, and let's get back into this clip. But like I said, these are just a few clips. I'm going to play like 3 clips from the Chris Zaldain and Trait Zaldain Zaldangerous podcast, guys. One of the best podcasts that are currently on YouTube. All right, so make sure you guys listen in and get active in the chat, guys. All right, let's see what else he had to say.
Figure out something new. You know what I mean?
The difference in between the 69% gain and a 72% gain.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've been doing this my whole life. You know what I mean? All I ever wanted to do was fish professionally when I was a little kid. Denny Brauer was my idol. I can remember standing on the banks of the Ohio River saying, I want to be like Denny Brauer someday. You know, I mean, that was when I was Fisher's age, 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? So I have been, I don't want to say I've been preparing myself, but I've always had that dream of, so when people say, oh, you're just getting outworked, hell, I mean,
kick rocks.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but with that being said, the learning curve for these new anglers is night and day from when we started.
Sure.
Okay. I didn't have the internet. I didn't have the ability to sit at the house on the computer and figure out how to swim a jig, how to flip a jig, how to skip docks, how to drop shot. This new generation, and it's nothing against them. I mean, we're the guys that put all the information out there.
Yeah.
So maybe we ought to be getting rewarded for teaching.
Yeah.
So many people, so many different techniques and things.
Hold on. Let's listen to what he said again real quick.
Our job as a professional angler is not to just go and things. So maybe we ought to be getting, it's nothing against them.
Listen to what he said.
I mean, we're the guys
what should they get?
Put all the information out there.
Yeah.
So maybe we ought to be getting rewarded for teaching.
Yeah.
So many people, so many different techniques and things. But that's part of our job. Our job as a professional angler is not to just go out here and catch bass. It's to teach people how to do it and promote products that we think they need to help them perform on the water. I mean, that's our job. That's what we've done.
All right. So think about that. He said that's their job. That's what they've done. And the underlying thing that isn't really talked about first is that this is still a business. Overall, this is a business. When you think about any big business, corporation, or anything, how many of us have been called into that room where they're doing big layoffs or big changes? How much do they take into consideration the employees or the contractors or anything that kind of support that business when it's a business decision? So we're kind of, mixing a bunch of things together whenever we're talking about this, because in the end, it's gonna kind of be a thing where we're going to be talking about which is the business going to support more, those finances from those bigger companies or the anglers and those relationships that were built. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Like I said, continue to get active in the chat, and I'm going to change this poll up, guys. Like I said, we are live right now, and these polls kind of help you guys with gauging the room. So make sure you definitely get active and participate in these polls. All right, so let's see. And how are my likes looking? Did you guys change? Did you? Okay. My likes are they're still moving along. They're still a little low, but you guys can, just give me, can I get 8 or 9 more likes, and that'll help us out. All right, so should forward-facing sonar be limited, be banned or limited in pro fishing? So we have 58% that says yes. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Is Randy Blaukat in the chat? Randy, are you watching the live stream tonight? Because I have a clip that I'm going to play with you in here whenever we had our discussion about this. And things have changed from whenever you were on the show, because I dropped some polls and wow. Okay. So we have 60% of people. Well, within this chat. So this is by no means a overview of the entire industry, but in this chat, I mean, we have close to 100 people in here right now. I mean, number may go up a little bit more, but we're sitting at around 60%, which is still surprising to me. So that kind of lets you guys know who is in attendance tonight, where we're at in the, with the show. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop the show. We have a sponsor of tonight's live stream. We have Mark Scott. And also, wait a minute, guys. Big shout out to the Money Team. He has hit the channel with a $20 super chat. Really, really appreciate the strong support of the channel. And he's making me get in here and do a little work. Like I said, this is a live show. So if you take a look down at the bottom of the screen, there is a banner that says special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Cerebral Tackle. So last week, we had CT. He was in here he was gifting membership. So, that kind of goes into the pot. So he was the sponsor last week. So let me go in here now and change that banner to Mark Scott, guys. So just bear with me. Like I said, you guys are catching this on the live tonight. So you see how we actually do things while the show is live. All right. So now if you take a look down at the bottom of the screen, that banner now reads, special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Mark Scott. Very, very big contributor and strong supporter of the channel. Really, really appreciate you, Mark Scott. And hey, if you guys could just drop Mark Scott in the chat. If you could, just put Mark in the chat for me. Really, really appreciate that. All right, so let's see. Let's hop back over here real quick. And we're going to change this poll up. And then we're going to take a listen to 1 or 2 more segments. And again, guys, I'm going to drop the live call-in link. I know some of you guys have already hit me up and let me know, like, hey, I have some things to say about this topic right here. You know, I'm kind of passionate about it. Shout out to the burning season. The burning season is queued up and ready to go. All right, so let's see. We're going to end this poll, guys, and we are going to drop this down. So you heard the names that he dropped a little earlier as far as other anglers, pro anglers that are stepping up, and it looks like they're going to be kind of banding together and trying to get some things changed. All right, so let's see. So the names that he dropped were Gerald Swindle, Matt Herron, and Wes Logan. All right, so let's go ahead and drop this next poll question. All right, so who would you guys say are the top? Let me see. Who are the top 20 most important anglers, you know, to Bassmaster? So basically, if they were to leave, that you would say that the business would just fold and it would be over. Just drop those names in the chat, and I am going to put up the next poll question. But in the chat, what I want you guys to start putting in there, we want to see some names. All right, shout out to Bass Boater 11 for shouting out Mark. Really appreciate that. We have Big Will reeling and chilling. All right, shouting out Mark Scott. Really appreciate that, guys. All right, so in the chat, what I want you guys to do is start dropping some names in here. So who are the top 20 most important anglers to Bassmaster that if they left or they were gone, that the business would fold? Let's see some names in there. Who do you think have enough power or influence to where if they band together and they just said, hey, we're out, they dropped that salute and they hit the door, that the business would fold? All right, so now for the next poll question, let's see, what should we do for the next poll question, guys? All right, so I said the names that he just dropped. So let's just see who knows those anglers. So let's see who is the most influential angler business-wise of those 4. So who is the most influential? Now, this one is a poll question, guys. The other one is something I want you guys to participate in the chat. Come on, guys. Look at Brian. Brian says none of them. Come on, man. Come on. You have to put some names in here. I mean, we have some big timers out there. We have some veterans in the game out here. Uh-oh, we have Cool American. Shout out to Cool American. He said, hey, if Ben left, that it would fall. But Ben just got there. He just got there. But hey, big shout out to Ben Milliken out there doing big things. All right, so let's see. Let me drop that down real quick. All right, so who is the most influential? Let me see, who is the most influential angler? And we're just talking business-wise of the names that Chris Zaldain dropped. All right, so who is the most influential angler business-wise? And we're just going to go with just those 4 names. So we'll go with Chris Zaldain. So who do you guys think carries the most weight that would be able to get some things done if they, you know, if they spoke up about some things? All right, so we'll go with Gerald Swindle. Shout out to Gerald Swindle, the G-man, always out there making things happen, entertaining the crowd. All right, then we have Matt Herron. Oh, I hope I spelled his name right. And then we have Wes Logan. All right, so there we go. So we have another poll that is up and running. Make sure you guys participate in the poll, participate in the chat. That is what makes these live streams great. Makes it fun and entertaining, guys, so we can get in here and exchange some thoughts on things. All right, so let's see. So that poll is up and running. Who is the most influential angler business-wise to that organization? Is it Chris Zaldain, Gerald Swindle, Matt Herron, or Wes Logan? All right, so yeah, make sure you guys participate in that. So we will definitely be back to that. All right, so what I'm going to do real quick is, let me just check something real quick and see if, yeah, let's play the rest of this clip out. Let me just get to this next segment real quick. All right, so bear with me, guys. All right, and then I have another interesting follow-up to this one right here. All right, so now let's listen in and see what else they have to say. Now, I think we're getting more into the forward-facing sonar discussion at this point. All right, so let's listen in, guys.
Fishing at the highest level that protected the integrity of the sport and That's one of the
You knew what the
you know what I mean?
brand.
I
you
knew what the brand
stood
meant. I
for.
knew what it meant.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I would hate to be Bass right now trying.
I would hate to be Chase. Yeah, oh gosh, lot flying at him for sure.
So let's switch it up just a little bit. Something that's not too much doom and gloom. What are your thoughts about the elite schedules that y'all have had over the years? Do you have any
Hold on one
opinions?
second. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Let me just double check something. Make sure I queued up the right spot, guys. All right, 102. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, I think this is it right here.
On them, but we still don't know if we're making the right angle or the right cast.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is not a real-time sonar. Forward-facing sonar is, I mean, when you can give you the ability to put your bait right on.
All right, here we go.
Every single cast, dude. I might fish all day long and never even pitch my jig to a bass. You know what I'm saying? But when you have the ability to throw your bait at a bass every single time, and now with perspective, I mean, come on, you know.
So I can already see some of the comments are going to say you said that no technology should dominate to win Angler of the Year. So some people will comment, well, Kevin won AOY using side scan. Do you feel that way?
I don't feel that way at all, because that is not a real-time picture. Okay, when you're using side scan or 2D.
All right, did you guys notice what he said right here? Let's see. And I'm going to ask you guys a question that I'm going to look for in the chat. This is going to be a yes or no question. Wait a minute. We have to stop the show once again. Big shout out to, we have Big Will Reeling and Chilling checking in. He has now become a member of the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Throughout the live stream, whenever you hear me refer to the Money Team, those are the members of the channel, guys. So all of the members of the Money Team, if you could drop Big Will Reeling and Chilling, just put Reeling and Chilling in the chat. Just kind of give him a proper welcome to the show. You know how we do down south. I mean, we have to show him some Southern hospitality. So just drop, what is it again? Big Will Reeling and Chilling in the chat and welcome him to the Money Team. Really, really appreciate that. All right, so now let's see. Let me hop back over here into it, guys. All right, let's see. Hold on 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, so now pay attention to what he is about to say, and this is going to be a yes or no. Do you agree with this statement whenever he says it? Let's listen in.
Picture. Okay, when you're using side scan or 2D, heck, we'll even use 360.
Yeah,
it will bump 360 into this. None of those are real time. Okay, none of them give us the ability to throw our bait right at the fish. Okay, when we scan by them.
I had the same discussion with Randy Blaukat. So do you agree with that? Let's play it one more time. Do you agree with this statement?
Oh, there they are. Throw our bait 60 into this.
All right.
None of those are real time. Okay. None of them give us the ability to throw our bait right at the fish. Okay. When we scan by them and say, oh, there they are.
Yep.
Okay. Well, now we got to get off of the graph, get on the trolling motor and
align.
Okay. Let's align or throw at our waypoint that we just dropped on them. But we still don't know if we're making the right angle or the right cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So listen to that. I played it 3 times, so you guys should already know. Do you agree with that statement? I'm looking for some yes and some no's. All right. Oh, okay. You guys are reacting kind of quick to that. All right. So we have, let's see, we have Black USC1 says he totally agrees. So you totally agree with that. That is not real time. You can't sit there and call your shots with those with, what does he say? Side scan 360 and these things. You just can't do it. You can't do that. We have B Standard says the same thing, says, oh, yes, I agree. Totally agree. Bass Boater agrees. Is there anybody who disagrees? I think not. Okay, let's see. What does Eat Squawk say? Shout out to the Money Team. Says, oh, now we know Lowens probably has been listening to Randy. Come on. All right, so shout out to the Money Team once again. Stephen Dorsey says, yes, I absolutely agree. Wait a minute. I am surprised at this one. We have Darren Pearson. He says, oh, yeah, I agree with what he just said. Got another yes. Crossfire says yes. Wait a minute. Come on, Brandon. Brandon says he sounds ignorant. Nah. Well, I mean, I guess ignorant isn't necessarily a bad. I mean, it's kind of a mean way of saying it, but yeah, some people may be a little less informed on some things. But I mean, that's what we're here for. We're going to talk about it. All right. So DL Peck Fishing says he agrees. Lake Life, what is that? Lake Life Live says yes. Go, my God. Everybody is agreeing. Uh-oh. Shout out to Fishing with Ollie. All right. Shout out to the money team. All right. Big Ivy says 360. It shows you where the fish are at. All right. All right. But he says that the difference is these are not live. You cannot call your shots with these. But what I just mentioned is I had the same discussion with Randy Blaukat. So what I'm going to do is let you guys hear some of that discussion that I had with Randy Blaukat and how it went. All right, so hold on, just bear with me. Again, guys, we're all here to just share some information, have some fun with this. We're here to learn some things, and hopefully, I might be able to teach you a little something. All right, so here we go. So now we have my partner Randy Blaukat stepping up. Now let's see what Randy and Mr. MoneyBass had to talk about. All right, so there we go, guys. So this is the live stream. Randy, he was live and in action. We were sitting here having a nice conversation. So let's listen in and see. Let me just change it up just a little bit. All right, so let's listen in and see what Randy had to say. Okay, so let me ask you this. So this is kind of a quote that I want to read right here. Just want to make sure. So it's kind of a quote. It's kind of paraphrased. All right, so all right, here we go. All right, so there's the fish. The fish sees it. He's chasing my bait. He's chasing it fast. He's going to hit it. Boom, the hook set. So would you say that is good or bad for fishing?
No, in the bigger picture, I just don't think it's good out there because.
All right, so let's just stop it right there real quick. So his answer was he does not think that is good for you to use some technology that will allow you to call your shots like that. And before we continue this part, let's change the poll question, because now I see that everyone agrees with the guest that was on the show. Let's see. Hold on one second. Whenever he made the statement about those, you cannot call your shots with those, basically. All right. Hold on one second, guys. All right. So now we're going to change up this poll question. All right. So the poll that we currently had, and as you come into the chat, I want to welcome everybody to the show. We get together every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, guys. This is a very live and very interactive show. So we have a live chat. The live chat is the best on the internet on this show. We have people here that have differences of opinion. Sometimes they butt heads. Sometimes we get in here and we agree on some things. Sometimes. But make sure you get active in the chat. The other thing that I do is I drop the live call-in link. That allows you guys to click that link, make sure your camera is on and you are cammed up, as I call it, and I will bring you up on the show and let you speak your piece, your thoughts, your opinions on the topic that we are covering. All right, so right now, who is the most influential angler business-wise between the four that we talked about earlier? So we have Chris Zaldain at 40%. Gerald Swindle, okay, he's carrying some weight. He's carrying some weight at 55%. So we'll just stop it at those two. And I kind of figured that those two were going to be the more popular as far as, notoriety, people that are known in the industry. So we have Gerald Swindle at 55%. But now what I want to know, and from the poll that we had earlier, we were at, what was it? Was it 60% of you were saying that, yes, that forward-facing sonar needs to be either limited or banned. So something needs to take place with that. So this question is going to be, let's just stick with sonar. So should sonar, just regular down scan, should regular sonar be part of that? So let's start another poll. So should sonar be included in the ban or limitation? All right, and we'll keep this one simple, guys. And there's a reason why I'm asking this. So make sure you participate in this poll. And in the chat, let me know why you say either yes or no. So should sonar be included in the ban or limitation? So we had 60% of you guys are saying that yes, there should be some type of ban or limitation around forward-facing sonar. All right. Okay, you guys are hopping in here quick on the in the chat with your answer to that. But just put an explanation as to what your answer is concerning sonar. And like we just heard, he said that, you know, though that's a whole different ball game. You can't compare the two. You can't compare them. And you heard my question to Randy Blaukat, and he said it's just not any good. It's just not good for the industry. Let's just listen.
Number one, in the
good fast. There's the fish. The fish sees. All right, so we're just going to listen to it again real quick so you can hear the question, because I see a few more people have joined the live stream. So let's listen in, and this is the question that I have, and we'll hear his answer. Here we go.
that it created a path in the sport of fishing that was not good in the long term.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me ask you this. So this is kind of a quote that I want to read right here. Just want to make sure. So it's kind of a quote. It's kind of paraphrased. All right, so all right, here we go. All right, so there's the fish. The fish sees it. He's chasing my bait. He's chasing it fast. He's going to hit it. Boom, the hook set. So would you say that that is good or bad for fishing?
No, in the bigger picture, I just don't think it's good out there because number one.
All right, so there we go. In the bigger picture, he says it's just not good. It's not good to be able to call your shots like that. All right, so now let's take a look at something else. Hold on, guys. Just bear with me. Let me just cue this next part up, because this is a very big part of why I asked you guys that question. All right, so here we go. Here we go. I was late to the forward-facing sonar thing, but I always liked using electronics. So let me repeat it again. There's the fish. The fish sees it. He's chasing my bait. He's chasing it fast. He's going to hit it. Boom, the hook set. All right, so we were talking about forward-facing sonar, but let me show you something real quick. Guys. And see that right. All right, so this is me out on the lake. This is before I don't even know when this was, but it was before I had forward-facing sonar. I think forward-facing sonar was out at this time, but the caption that I have on here, so this video is, let me see, I don't even know how long ago I recorded this, but 2D sonar, I can see the fish, I can see the structure, cover, I can definitely see the fish behavior, and I can definitely use it to catch more fish. Now let's just listen to the words that I read earlier and listen to what I say in this video that was before I had forward-facing sonar. There is like a tree or some brush pile or something down there. So when I drop this down there, watch that. Well, you can't see him now, he's not on the screen. But look, so you can see my bait going down. You see that line right there? And then it went down there into that red stuff. And that's the brush pile down there. See, there's the fish again. So watch. You see this line coming up right here? See, that fish sees it. See him going down? See him going, he's chasing my bait now. He's chasing it fast. That one's probably going to hit it because he chased it fast. All right, so that right there, I just wanted to, hold on just a second. All right, there we go. Just wanted to play that clip. So that is 2D sonar. Yeah, so what I was reading, it sounded like it was forward-facing sonar, but that was 2D sonar. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because for me, whenever I first started hearing the arguments against forward-facing sonar, that was the thing that I kept hearing people saying was like, you can see the fish, you can do this in real time, all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, they don't know that you can already do that with 2D sonar. You follow what I mean? So that was kind of the beginning part of me trying to grasp hearing the whenever people are saying that like that is a reason against it, because for me, when I started hearing people say they were against that, I was like, well, why should we even have 2D sonar if it is at the professional level and it's supposed to be the tradition of fishing? And I guess the other part that I want to add is, for me, whenever I first started tournament fishing, I pretty much came from bank fishing to the almost instantly into the tournament fishing side of things, fishing as a co-angler. And so I began learning about a fish finder. When I first heard that word and saw it on somebody's boat, the first thing I said, well, isn't that cheating? Like, how can you have something called a fish finder on a boat when it's a tournament? I thought people were out here finding fish on their own. Then I learned about scents. I learned about rattles. Then I started learning all of these different aspects of tournament fishing. Whereas for me, when I would watch it, I was thinking that they weren't doing any of that stuff. I was thinking they were like me out there running, just going out there trying to find fish. But that's why I was bringing up about the progression. Like each step of that is adding something to that person's, and it's taking away from that skill level, but it's adding something else to their arsenal. But yeah, I just wanted you to see that. And what do you think about that? Being able to say the exact same thing with 2D sonar that you can say whenever you're watching fish on forward facing sonar.
Well, yeah, I've done the same thing, drop shotting with 2D sonar, Table Rock Lake, or even crappie fishing, but again, the difference in that is the fact that, okay, number one, if that was anything on the same level as forward facing sonar, then that technique of seeing fish on your 2D sonar would have been a dominant tournament technique for years, but it hasn't been. It basically hasn't played any factor at all, other than very occasionally when you're fishing for fish vertical. But you're underneath the boat. You have your gauge as far as seeing the fish is just your cone straight underneath the boat. You don't have that ability to scan all around the boat with multiple transducers out there. But the thing about that is, like, it all goes back to reaching that precipice. And while what you're saying is right on there, I mean, you can get more out of your traditional electronics than what a lot of people think they do. It still has not taken on the complete domination that we've seen with forward-facing sonar. Mm-hmm. And that it would be different if like one tournament a year was won with forward-facing sonar. But now forward-facing sonar has become such a dominant influence in tournaments. It's not just for open water. There's guys winning tournaments on forward-facing sonar for bedding fish. They're seeing fish bedding. They're seeing fish, in shallow cover. They're flipping and pitching flooded cover with forward-facing sonar. It literally dominates every aspect of the water column now. And that just gets back to, like, everybody has their point of which where they probably think it's too much. I would venture to say even the most hardcore forward-facing sonar advocate, if you gave them some futuristic, example of what our sonar is going to be like that most people can't even comprehend in the future, at some point, people are going to say, man, that's just too much. What are we doing here? And for me,
all right, so there we go. So now we have another viewer aspect of the entire forward-facing sonar thing when we're just adding that to the arsenal of electronics that are already out there. And one of the things that I've always said to me is any form of help or electronics that are being used are enhancements. So they're kind of like a performance enhancer, because if they were not, then they would not be used. So whether we're talking about side imaging, down scan, side scan, sonar, or forward facing sonar, they are all enhancements to enhance that person's skill set. So whether you may feel that that person's skill set is low and it enhances it a lot, or that person already has a very high skill set and it enhances it a little, but they are all receiving some type of enhancement. I think we can all agree on that, right? Is there anybody who would say no, electronics are no form of enhancement? So I think we could all agree that that is adding something to that person's skill set that they would not be able to do they wouldn't be able to do as easily on their own without it. All right, so let's see. So that was kind of interesting, guys. All right, let me see. Was there one more part in here? Let's see. So let's check this poll real quick and see what you guys were thinking on this last poll that we put up. All right, so should sonar be included in the ban or limitation? All right, so we have, okay, so it kind of flipped a little bit. So we have 52% are saying no, leave my sonar alone. Not too long ago, you guys were saying the same thing about your forward-facing sonar, like, hey, leave my forward-facing sonar alone. Don't touch it. It's mine. Well, you got to put an S on it. It's mine's, all mine's. Don't touch my forward-facing sonar. All right, so let me see. Should regular sonar, be included in the ban or limitation? We have 46% of you are saying yes. Get rid of those electronics. Just throw those pros out there with mapping. They should be able to handle it. They should be able to do what they can do with just mapping. All right, then we have 54% are saying no. All right, so yeah, very, very interesting. All right, so now let's go ahead and drop that poll down. I see quite a few of you have already participated in that poll. And what I will do now, guys, like I told you, this is a very interactive show. So what I will do is drop this live call-in link. I know there's some people that were wanting to chime in on this, especially if you have a YouTube channel. You should hit this call-in link and come up, kind of introduce yourself. I'll shout out your channel and see what your thoughts are. All right, so here we go. So I'm dropping this call-in link in the chat for anyone that is new to the channel. I welcome you to the channel. We meet every week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes we do some pop-up live streams, or I may do some on the water lives where I'm out there using my electronics, or sometimes, you know, I'll go out there and just try different techniques and answer questions for you guys while I'm out there on the water. All right, so make sure if you are interested, you know, hit that like button for one, and also hit the subscribe button. All right, so let's see. We're going to drop this poll down, and let's see. All right, so we'll hop back on the topic of the bass industry. And now part of that discussion that you heard Chris Zaldain mention earlier was that the anglers are starting to band together. They're going to have a meeting and they're going to start talking about some things. And it from the names that he mentioned, there are people that have been in the game for quite a while. So they're seeing some changes that they don't necessarily like the direction that the sport is headed to. So let me end this poll real quick. And let's hop back into another poll question that may be a little controversial on this one, guys. Let's see. All right. So earlier I asked you guys to mention the top 20 anglers that you felt were influential in, in the Bassmaster organization. All right. So this next question is, if those 20 anglers left, what would happen to Bassmaster? Would that be the end of their business? If those top tier anglers that you guys, let's say they meet together and they're like, hey, we want these changes, or we're out, and they leave, what do you guys think would happen to that organization? So do you think it would end the business? So I'm going to keep these simple. So do you think it would end? Do you think Bassmasters would be no more? They would just fall apart and be gone. So would it end the business? Would it hurt the business but recover? So we'll go with hurt but recover. And then this third option, would they just replace those anglers and keep moving as if nothing happened? All right, so there we go, guys. Like I said, we just get in here, chop it up a little bit, go over some interesting conversations just to kind of gauge the room and see what you guys are thinking. All right, so here we go. So that poll is live and in action. So this is a pretty interesting, guys. All right, so James Anderson said, oh yeah, it'll be a problem. It will be a big problem. All right, so yeah, so that poll question is up and running, guys. All right, so the question is, if those 20 anglers, if you think of the top 20 anglers, that if they were to meet up and they're like, hey, these are our demands and we're out of here. If those 20 anglers left, what would happen to Bassmaster? What would happen to that organization? Would it end the business, like they would not be able to recover from that? Would it hurt the business, but they would be able to recover? Or would they just replace those anglers and keep on moving? You know, just the train just keeps on moving. What do you guys think? All right. So yeah, so you guys have definitely been getting active in the chat. So yeah, and if you have some explanations, oh, you know what? I forgot to drop the call-in link, guys. All right, so here we go. Hold on one second. So I'm going to drop the call-in link. If you have some thoughts or opinions, suggestions, anything like that, then make sure you hit the call-in link, and I will make sure that your audio is good. Make sure you are cammed up, and I'll bring you up for a minute or two and let you speak your piece. See if people may agree or disagree with you. I mean, it's always good to hear different opinions on things. And, you know, sometimes you can learn something. You may be thinking over this way. Somebody else may come over here this way and say some few things. And maybe you can kind of meet in the middle. Or not. You just never know. You never know. All right. So, oh, my goodness, guys. All right. Make sure you guys keep participating in that poll question. If you have not seen the answers in the poll question, you guys need to take a look. So I'm reading this out for people that are catching this on the replay. All right. So The current status of this poll is, if those top 20 anglers left, what would happen to Bassmaster? What do you guys, as the viewers, you never know, there may be some guys that are currently out there fishing it and participating in it that are in here in the chat, or they may just be watching like, hey, what is MoneyBass over there talking about? What's going on over there? Let's hop in and have some fun with them over there. All right, so if those 20 anglers left, what would happen to Bassmaster? Would it end the business like it's gone? The business just crashes and burns. That is at 17%. Would it hurt the business, but they would be able to recover? You know, it's going to kind of dip down a little bit, but it'll take right back off and they'll be okay. We have 26% that says it'll hurt but recover. All right. And then we have, oh my God, guys. We have 56% of you guys are saying that they would just replace them and keep moving. Sounds cold. It is a cold, cold world out here, guys. You guys are saying they just replace them and keep on moving. Whenever I hear people having these discussions about this, I always think of this as business versus employees / contractors. How many of you have been at a company or work someplace for years, and then those layoffs come and you're like, hey, you know, I'm good here. You know, I'm dedicated. I'm loyal. This business, they respect me. They find value in me. But then you get called to that office. And while you're in the office, they're putting your stuff in your desk in a box. So whenever you walk out of that office door and all your coworkers and everything kind of turn and look, they kind of see you trying to keep it together as they hand you your box and escort you out the door. It's just ugly, guys. It's just ugly. How many of you guys have seen that? I mean, I have seen that firsthand, meaning I was the person that was sitting at the desk. Well, I saw a grown man come out of the office, tearing up, just crying, face just wet like crazy as they handed him his box and walked him out. I mean, this was some years ago, but he was one of the top guys that was there. And yeah, I mean, it was just something surprising that you just would not think would happen. But like I said, for me, when I'm hearing these discussions, I'm always looking at it from the business standpoint, where you as an individual may see a face, that face in front of you that you're listening to, that you're interacting with and everything. That is the face of that business. But behind that face is the actual business, that monster. In some cases, not necessarily all of them, but it's that business. And that business has a very, very, very strong will to survive. So, I mean, I kind of look at it from that aspect, guys. So these discussions a lot of times are just kind of like he mentioned earlier. It's just kind of cut and dry. You know, some of these things are going to be business decisions on what they're, on how they handle these things. All right. So yeah, you guys are still getting active on that poll. All right. So we have somebody that wants to step up and has a few things to say. So let's go ahead and get the call-in segment started. So I will drop this call-in link in the chat. And like I said, guys, this is a very interesting part of it because we get to hear from you guys, the viewers, the people that are stopping through to say, hey, I have some thoughts on this topic. I kind of, I disagree with what you just said. Or, hey, I kind of agree with that. But I mean, that's what it's all about, guys. This is changing thoughts, ideas. Maybe we can get together and learn a few things, see some oh my goodness. Okay, let me bring up contestant number 1 first, and then I have somebody else that I need to bring to the stage. All right, so what is going on? I knew CT was gonna have some things to say. What is going on, sir?
Yeah, me with something to say. Imagine that. What a concept, right? A couple of things. First, I've got something for you. I've got some real juice.
All right.
I was going to do my own video on it, but you've been so good to me. I thought I'd break it over here.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. It sounds like we have some breaking news, guys. So what's going on? Go ahead and fill us in.
Okay, so the committee that's been with Bass as far as studying the whole issue of what to do about forward-facing sonar, there is a consensus coming. It's an attempt to meet in the middle. And what's funny is it plays every direction. It plays to everyone, but it's not for any of the reasons anybody thinks it is. What they're looking to do is they're looking to bring it down to one transducer, one forward-facing transducer, still allowing 360 or down scan, still allowing side scan, straight up OG, all that. But as far as Livescope, one transducer. Now, it plays to the conservationists who say, hey, all the screens, you got 3, 4, 5, 6 on there, yada, yada, yada. So it's a bit of a capitulation to the folks that want it completely gone. On the other end, you're still allowing folks to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why has nothing to do with conservation. It has absolutely zero to do with the sales aspect. It boils down to the real reason a lot of the guys that are old schoolers don't like it, not only because they're not willing to learn it, but because it's the perceived cost at both the pro level and the open level and over at the BFT level of how to compete. You have all these guys starting, right? Like let's say you're over in one of those BFTs, right? You have what, one or two transducers? You got one transducer, right, on your boat?
Right.
Okay, so let's say the guy beach next to you has 3 or 4. You're already going to feel like you're at somewhat of a disadvantage. So you feel like you're going to throw that much more money into your boat.
Right.
Now, these guys at the pro level that have sponsorships, they don't necessarily get all that for free like a lot of people think. They just get a good discount. And you talk about those guys lower down in the standings, some of the old schoolers that are having a hard time with it. Do you really want to think that they're going to throw that much extra money to feel like they have to do it in order to compete? Let alone at the BFT level, at the open level, guys are getting tapped out in their own money to think that that's what they have to do to keep up. That's the real reason for the push. Because there's no way the electronics companies are going to let it go. Bass isn't going to let it go. FLW is not going to let it go. So the plan is, at least right now, to cut it back to 1. Now, there's some talk about difference in the size of screens. There's a little bit of back and forth about that. That would be a capitulation. That has no freaking difference of whether it's a 36-inch freaking screen or a 10-inch screen. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing.
Right.
But it's down to the one transducer, and it's only because of the background cost. So that's, and some folks like, a certain other YouTuber that beats his chest like King Kong every time forward-facing sonar is brought up, is going to take it as a win. But it's not a win, and it's disingenuous to think so, because it's not about the conservation. It's about the money. It's about the out-of-pocket cost to the generation of anglers that are coming up. And I'm not talking about people say, oh, it's a rich kid sport, daddy's money. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about all those guys in the BFTs, all those guys in the opens, that continuing down this path of never-ending spinning will choke them out eventually. That's what it's about. So be looking forward to that. Now, that's on that bit of the subject. Real quick on the other, touch on the other.
All right. What do you have on the other subject?
Yep. As far as living in the gray, you know what I think about living in the gray area. I think that gray area needs to be closed off without question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with everything that's happened in the last week that I've been reporting over my channel, as far as certain people being thrown out there as possible leaders, is crack-addled. There's no other way for me to say it, because you can't have the pot calling the kettle black. You can't have somebody who's got infractions for boat safety then calling somebody out in front of a reporter and kids for boat safety. It comes off so disingenuous and so hypocritical that it reeks. You can't have that person as an appointed leader, or even think of him in the same hemisphere as an appointed leader.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, in baseball, you have a players association, the strongest, freaking union in the world is the MLB Players Association. In fishing, you don't have that. If these guys really think they can get together and pressure the powers that be in ownership to make changes, and I'm an old man too, but because their older butts say so, good luck with that, because they're looking at the youth coming up. Now, what Bass has got to get better at is being transparent on some of these disqualifications. A couple have kind of tried to slip under the radar, like Sands tried to slip under the radar this last time. Notice there wasn't no freaking press release on that, but it got out because what happened? Somebody wanted to pull a straightener and not have a fishing license.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back to that. We're back to pros thinking they don't have to have fishing licenses.
Okay.
So they got to be more transparent, because I think no matter which side of the fence you're on, I think every one of these fans out here will agree, and chat, tell me if I'm wrong on this one. I think we all agree that they need to be transparent on the penalties, because we follow it. We're the consumers of their product. And we want them to be honest, because that's where at least some of our money and our attention is going. So we want to know what we're seeing is authentic. Am I right, guys? So they've got to be more transparent about that.
Yeah, and so I completely agree with that. But I can tell you one of the things that I have found, and I am not at the professional level, but even which seems to be to me that it would be even more stringent once you get to that level, because of what is at stake at that point. Even on these lower levels, the people that are willing to just kind of overlook or turn a blind eye to things that they see and they know that people do that are incorrect, and their willingness to hold those people responsible, and I mean hold them responsible whenever they're found doing some of the most egregious things that you can think can be done in a tournament setting, to where I would say the majority of people, probably like 99% of the people, would say no, they should never be able to come back. The people that actually kind of fight against that. And I mean, it's just kind of surprising. It is definitely surprising. So, and it has kind of made me get to the point where sometimes I just look and I just don't even feel like participating, because I know what they're willing to allow to happen and what they're willing to allow, what they're willing to accept. And do you want to spend time away from your family, invest your time, your money, and all of this stuff, when you know that an organization itself may not, their standards and their ethics and integrity and stuff does not match yours? It's like it just gets kind of tough once you start seeing things that you just can't unsee, and things that you just know are in existence and you just don't agree with. It kind of makes it tough.
I couldn't agree more. It would be nice to not only for all these penalties to have a press release behind them. How some of them do and some of them don't is just beyond me. It's disgusting. And folks, you know me. Don't think I haven't put Bass's feet to the fire. Don't think I haven't called and written them in like, oh, so and so had a press release, but this person, what happened here? Don't think I'm not asking the questions, but you bet your butt I'm asking the questions. And I don't know what the method to the madness is. I being around them, I'll say that I think that they see their anglers as overall honest and overall pretty good guys, and that they think a lot of it is accidental. Like the one, like the kid McKinney, he really didn't know. There's stuff like that, but we all know that there's other accidental infractions and there's other deliberate infractions.
Exactly.
And either way, it's got to be treated the same way. And, people thought I was trying to give the kid an out because of his age. Heck no, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, he could have got DQ'd for the day. I'd have been fine with it. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's about being transparent, about holding them to the rules, keeping their feet to the fire, and then making sure John Q. Public knows exactly what's going on. because that's what's going to make their product, is having that integrity and having that nailed down. Because, you know, MLF has a bad reputation for that right now, real bad. You know, boy, lots of rumors, always lots of tea over at MLF. They got a whole freaking kettle overflowing. And the last thing Bass wants to do is become the next MLF. You know?
Right.
And one last thing. As far as what will happen if those guys go, nothing. Nothing. It'll be next man up, because I mean, think about it. Does no one remember that there was before an MLF? I mean, come on.
Man.
You know, when you used to look at the fantasy fishing pages, pretty much the entire A, B, and C group from Bass left. We were left with a bunch of guys named Bob.
Yeah, that was kind of, you know, that's kind of why I was asking that question. I just wanted to see what the viewers would think. And I'll just read the poll one more time, and then I'll go ahead and drop you down because I have a few more people that want to come up.
Yep.
But the question is, if those 20 anglers left, what would happen to Bassmaster? What would happen to that organization? So we had 12% says it will end the business, like the business will crash and burn. We have 28% says it'll hurt, but it'll recover. It'll hurt, but it'll recover. And then we have 60% says that they'll just replace them and keep moving.
Yeah. And one last thing to that. If it didn't die when the MLF split occurred, and it didn't die when the latest ownership group purchased it, because remember who owned them before, right? ESPN. Their parent company is Disney. Mm-hmm. They literally had the world's amount of money at their fingertips. They went from that budget to like no budget overnight. And that's back when I was doing contract work, writing for them. And I was one of the ones that didn't buy, because they got rid of over 75% of their staff. So if it didn't die then, and it didn't die with MLF, it's next man up.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is CT, guys. So we're looking forward to the next video. Make sure you guys go and check out CT. He is, you know, doing his thing on YouTube. All right. Big shout out to you, CT. Really appreciate you for coming up. All right. So, hey, like I said, guys, very interesting topics, interesting conversations. This is a live show. We have a live chat. Like I mentioned earlier, the chat here is the best chat on YouTube. I mean, you have guys with a lot of differences of opinions, but we're still able to get in here and kind of express those thoughts and views and everything. Sometimes you get in here, you'll hear something from a different point of view. You know, you could learn something or not. You just never know. All right. So I have somebody else that wants to come up. Make sure you guys are cammed up. Once I see that you're cammed up, then I'll bring you up. Now, CT, you know, he's a little exception to the rule, but make sure you guys are cammed up and make sure your lighting is good, and then I will bring you up. All right. And in the meantime, I just read that poll. So let's see. Let's go ahead and change that poll, because I mean, you guys pretty much see the results of that poll. If those 20 anglers left, what would happen? In the business, is it 12? Hurt but recover? Is it 29%? Replace them and keep moving? Is it 59%? So basically, we're sitting at about, what is that? Man, 60. We're sitting at about 90% of you guys are saying that the business would just keep moving. They would just keep moving on. Let's see. All right, let's see what else we have in here. Who else is hopping into the chat? All right, so we have the Real Ozark Angler checking in. What is going on? Really appreciate you for tuning in. Says this channel is great, MoneyBass. Appreciate you. Oh yeah, I appreciate you too for tuning in. I mean, like I said, we get in here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we do some pop-up live streams throughout the week, depending on what we're going to be talking about. Just happen to be talking about, you know, kind of a controversial topic right now, but we do go over some tournament fishing for the members of the channel, which are, shout out to the Money Team. The Money Team members, I do go over some of the tournaments that I participate in, go over some background information in those, and some things that I found that may help you guys out. Oh, and the other thing, always make sure you guys check the description of these videos. I put the links to the videos that I review and also any products that I think will be very helpful for you guys that we can get discounts on. So a lot of times there may be things in there that where you'll get military discounts. So make sure you put you drop the click the links in the description, and also use the code MoneyBass for anything that you see in there that you might be interested in. All right, so let's see. I see somebody backstage, but your lighting, I need your light. Your lighting is kind of dim. Looks like you're kind of hiding. Let me drop the call in link again, guys. See if anybody is interested in coming up. So I see, and if you have been a member of this channel, hold on, let me fix that link, guys. If you have been a member of the channel for any length of time, you know of somebody that I call Chicken Hawk.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, we got Chicken Hawk backstage. I'm waiting for him to get his lighting right so we can look at him in his eyes when we talk to him. I'm curious to see what Chicken Hawk is gonna have to say about this. All right, so let's see. We have Living Missouri's outdoor. All right, so let's see. It says MoneyBass, how much do you think forward-facing sonar is hurting the fishing tackle industry? Actually, that question, when I hear people discuss how it's hurting this industry or that industry or this tackle supplier or that tackle supplier, it kind of just goes along with, to me, survival of the fittest. I mean, there was someone who at one point was making horseshoes. They could have been the best horseshoe maker in town. But were people really going to keep riding a horse when they can hop in a car? So do you kind of slow down your progress to continue to help out those companies? I don't think the consumer is going to be worried about those companies that do not change with the times. But the question is, how much do I think forward-facing sonar is hurting the tackle industry? If the tackle industry, if they adapt and change to what people want, which any business should do, the business should not tell the consumer like, hey, you need to buy this because I'm making it. It's not going to work out for them because a consumer has the money. They know what they want. Well, marketing does kind of have a lot to play in it, but it's not going to be enough to make someone buy a product that they do not feel is going to benefit them. So whether it comes to phones, whether it's cars, even car tires, electronics within your household, as those products change, those consumers are going to want to change along with it. So let me just make sure I answer the question directly. How much do you think forward-facing sonar is hurting the fishing tackle industry? I think it is hurting a lot for those that continue to make product that are not being purchased instead of adapting. So I would think that any business owner should kind of look at the market and supply the market for what the market wants and not try to dictate to the market for what they feel they should buy just because they make it. I mean, if someone is making, say, I don't know, hair jigs, for example, I mean, that is a good bait, but nobody's buying them and they don't want those. Maybe people just want to fish jigs on rocks. Maybe it's jig on rock season, but this guy just makes hair. And I'm saying the hair jigs that you kind of cast out and reel that imitate like a minnow style bait, not the actual jigs that people use and fish like a crawl style bait. But if your industry or your tackle shop or your business is making a product that people do not want, I think it is going to be very detrimental to your business. So hopefully that answered that question. But that's what I think about that. But what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the chat. All right, so let's see. I'm hopping in the chat right now. So like I said, I see two people that are waiting backstage to say something, but I need you to cam up and make sure your lighting is good, and then I can bring you up. All right, I'm going to drop the call-in link again. So this call-in link, guys, all you do is click that link. Just make sure your lighting is good. I can bring you up. We'll do a quick sound check, make sure your sound is good, and then we'll see what you have to say about the topic that we've been talking about. So right now, what I'm doing, because we've already done the poll questions. If anybody has another poll question that you're interested in, me putting up, I'll put that up. But okay. I see some lighting coming in play. Uh-oh. Looks like one of our contestants may be just about ready. But until then, let me just hop back into the chat and see what the money team has to say. And anytime in the chat, once I start getting behind and I just want to get caught up real quick, what I do is I pull up the members of the money team. Shout out to the money team. Those are the people that you see in the chat that have the badges next to their name, and that number just represents how long they have been a member of the channel. So whenever I start getting behind in the chat, I'll just kind of pull up a few members of the money team real quick and, you know, just kind of see what the members of the money team have to say. All right. So it looks like we have somebody ready backstage. Let's see. Let's see. Who do we have here? That is all we can see is his chin. The people need to see more than just a chin. Uh-oh. Who do we have here? Is this Mr. Chicken Hawk that think he has something to say about this topic? What kind of problems do you have? Are you
Look here, man? I'm trying to help you out.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you out.
All right, what you got?
All right, so let me see. You said so much. A lot of it was incorrect. Like I'll give you like the first thing that you said incorrectly about the jig thing. I mean, a hair jig, and I mean, you know, a jig. There's a few things you could do with a jig. You know how I rock a jig.
Listen, don't come on here giving people bad information about
Hey, man, I could drag it, I could bounce it, I can swim it. I'm trying to tell you, man, there's 3 moves in one. Understand that. Once you understand that, then you'll understand what's going on. Now, back to your topic.
All right. So the first topic that we talked about was what was the first part of it? About the forward facing sonar part of it. So is that what you want to touch on?
Well, yeah. And I've told you once, I've told you twice, I've told you 3 times.
All right, I'm listening. So we're about to be enlightened right now. So
that's right.
Mr. Chicken Hawk, what is it?
The difference, like when you said, okay, if you're gonna ban forward facing sonar, then why not ban that 2D sonar?
Right.
And again, yes, you can use that little RTS screen. But if there's multiple fish over there, I guarantee you with forward facing sonar, you can see those multiple fish. Secondly, as Randy so eloquently pointed out to you that obviously it did not stick into your head. Okay. You are seeing directly under you. Whereas with forward facing sonar, you've been looking around, you're seeing where the fish are. So that is the major difference.
Well, I'll tell you why that is incorrect. The major difference is why when you get out on the lake and I'm out there, why you come in with an L, because I know how to use my sonar. And you're like, oh, well, you can't see out in front. I mean, I can use my forward facing sonar. If you do not have that skill, that is why you are going to come in with 2 fish while I'm out there culling.
Sir.
And one more point.
We don't want to talk about you culling those minnows that you normally cull.
Listen, now, one more point real quick.
What's your point?
You were talking about side scan, whether you're talking about down scan, sonar, 360, or any of those, they are all enhancements to that person's skill set, regardless of where their skill set is at, low or high.
That's true.
Why would they need any of that? If the test is the true skill of that person, why use any of that? That is my point. Why use any of it? Why get rid of one because, oh, well, that's too good, or I don't want to learn that one, or for whatever reason, but you're okay with this one over here? They all are helping somebody do something.
They are. But again, the difference is in live versus, if I see something come across on sonar, that was what was there. Okay. Not what is there right now. I'm seeing a picture of what I passed over.
Do I need to replay my video?
I saw your little silly video, but you were doing your little drop shot thing. So, but my point is, and I don't know if that was one of those cage fish, but we won't talk about that. But the point is that it's the difference is being able to see it live. Like I can pull up my forward facing sonar and I can see the fish, I can throw to the fish, I can see how the fish are reacting to that. if I'm throwing to where there was a fish, I may see another fish somewhere else while I'm watching this, and I can reel in and throw out to that. I mean, you're seeing underwater. That's what you're doing live,
Right.
and that is the difference. Now, to answer your question about the industry, of course,
real quick, one time. Okay, so you said the difference is you're seeing underwater live, right?
in real
Now,
time.
this is a yes or no question. You said in real time, so we'll even add that in there, which makes it even more to my point. It is called on sonar the real time.
I understand it.
RTS window. So the question is that real time? Yes or no?
That is real time.
Okay, now going to the next question.
Wait.
Order in the court. Order.
Wait. That is real time.
It's live. It's live, and it is even called real time. So it's live.
It is real time directly under you within that cone that you're in.
Where it is, it's still live. So this is my only point why I keep bringing that up. Just don't use that as an argument about it being live, and it's the only thing that's live, because RTS window real time is live, so it's live.
Okay.
So I would understand if they said, well, yes, you can use sonar, but you have to turn off your RTS window, because now it's not live anymore.
Okay.
But right now,
I can go with that.
The argument when somebody still keeps saying that it is the only thing that is live, that's just not true. It's not, right? So
well, I mean, that is a true statement.
Yeah,
most people.
So this is my thing. Why would somebody continue to willingly say something that they know is incorrect to people that may know that what they're saying is incorrect? Because as soon as you say that first incorrect statement, now I'm questioning anything else that you have to say after that. But now I'll go ahead and listen in.
Okay, well, we can't take that approach, because you made an incorrect statement before. You made a statement that you caught it was a 2 or 3 pounder, and it was like 0.79. So at that point, obviously, I should have just stopped listening to you altogether. But that's a whole nother story. But like I said,
that's just disrespectful.
Look, I'm not the one that disrespected the little minnows in the water. That's you that's ripping their lips. Them little bitty fish. Now I told you I'm gonna call Peter on you. I'm gonna call Peter on you pretty soon. Peter and the DNR, one of them are gonna catch you out on lake and arrest you. That's what's gonna happen.
All right, well, real quick. All right, so I see the burning season is up next, but just make sure your lighting is right. I can't really see you yet. And I'll pull you up in just a second once I see your lighting is right. Okay, so go ahead, Chicken Hawk. What is it that you have to say?
So like I was trying to say, when it comes to the difference for me is live versus non-live. Now I can agree with you. I can concede to the fact of the RTS, even though most people don't use it, but it is a live. It is a live representation of what's directly under you. It's a limited representation of directly under you versus, and I think the reason why people just don't even mention it is because when you talk about forward-facing sonar, I mean, you're talking about seeing 100 feet out, all around you, wherever you want to look, versus just RTS, which is directly below you. But I will concede that, because I will say this. I'm with you with that. If you're gonna have it, I don't mind, have sonar, have all this, but turn the RTS off and no live if you want to step away from live. That's what I'm saying. Now, as far as the industry and these and if those 20 pros went away, of course the industry would carry on. You know, every industry goes through that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at football. How many people was I'm banning football. I'm banning football. And when they do certain things, and yes, people would ban, but others are going to take their place. And they're not, and so they're moving forward. The only time that really didn't happen was with the baseball with MLB. And when baseball went on that strike, and they took years, and they still really have never recovered from that strike years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so But as far as fishing, yes, it definitely will continue on. I mean, because yes, you have your few pros now, but again, at the end of the day, you're watching it to watch people catch fish,
Right.
right? And so, whereas other sports, like for instance, look at boxing, look at professional boxing. Professional boxing was big back in the Mike Tyson days, Mike Tyson and before. But then professional boxing got soft. They started changing the rules, making it softer, and that led to the birth of MMA. And so that crowd went over to MMA because it was a certain thing that they wanted to see.
Right.
And similarly, it tried to happen in the NFL, but the NFL basically paid them off. But that brought light to the XFL back in the day when it first came out, because they said the NFL stand for No Fun League. So XFL said you do what you want to do. Let's go. It's about hits. It's about all this, because people are tuning in to see hits. They can say what they want to say. It's a violent sport, and you watch it to see the violence of that sport. That's why, like I said, with boxing, MMA is a violent sport. You tuning in to see the violence of that sport.
Right.
In fishing, you're just looking to see somebody catch a fish. So yes, if these pros move on, they'll have other people come in. And as long as people are catching fish, there's going to be an audience to watch that.
Gotcha.
So I do believe that, I think one thing that Randy did say, which is another thing he said, which was smart. Now people not gonna want to hear it. You're not gonna want to hear it because you're living in the now. Right now, he said that some people got to a point where they crossed the line for them.
Right.
And you got that wave. Now, those that are 100% with it right now, in the future, you can see something AI related that may be the thing that's going to draw a line for you.
Right. So this is the other part to that I think about. Some of these high school tournaments. I was at the boat ramp at I forget what lake it was, but the guy that was there, he was a boat captain, and he said that they had just had a 500 boat high school tournament. Well, he said I can't remember if he said 500 boats or 500 anglers, which would have meant 250 boats. Either way, it was a lot, and it was just one tournament. That was one tournament on this lake with that many boats. So with these high schoolers coming up, and high schoolers are going to be into the electronics, and businesses always want to stay ahead of the curve on things.
Right.
I mean, how is that going to play out? What business is going to say, yeah, I'll go ahead and take a loss to make you happy?
Well, and I agree with you. I agree with you, because at the end of the day, business is about money, right? So
right, exactly.
They're in it to make money. They don't care if the sports they really don't care if the sport gets destroyed or not. They really don't, because it's about making money. It's just like anything else. I mean, even like they're building buildings and they taking certain lands. I mean, people that are building the buildings and doing all that really don't care about that land. They care about that money that they're gonna make from it, and they're gonna move on.
Right.
And so, no, the people that you're right on this, and it's very, very, very rarely I agree with you. But I will agree with you on this. Is that in business, you're in business to give your customers what they're craving for.
Right.
And so they're going to continue to push that envelope as long as they can, until they get some sort of backlash, which is going to cause them to back off. And that's just reality. It has absolutely nothing to do with the sport or caring about the sport. It just is a bottom line situation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I'm just very interested to hear what is going to be the outcome of this meeting. Man, just think if it was if we could actually listen in. Be like, oh man, who said that? Did you hear what he just said? If we could actually know what was going on and what is the purpose behind the,
What you could do is go in there and get one of the pros to take the Fish Live X app.
Oh, hey, that's not out yet. It's
Nope.
it's not out yet. It'll be out soon, though. It'll be out soon.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You missed your golden opportunity.
Hey, not yet. It's in the works. It's in the works. Oh man. All right. So yeah, look, I've been rolling for about an hour and a half. We went over some great topics, guys, and we covered a lot of information. So what the peoples want to know while they're still listening in is
when you gonna get beat down?
When are you gonna finally show
up? No, you about to say it. Go ahead and say it. You were about to let it out your mouth.
No, I'm listening. When are we gonna?
You were about to ask me, when were you gonna get your beating? I've never seen anybody so excited for a beating, but you know what? I got it for you. But you're gonna get that on what's that? June 8th.
June 8th. You really gonna show up on Logan Martin?
Hey, I'm gonna show up and show out.
We're gonna do this live for everybody that is here watching. They're gonna see you catch a beat down live.
Oh, hey, look, and look, let me explain something to you. Is Mako on today? Have you seen Mr. Mako with his practice fish he showing everybody?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen him in the chat this evening.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you know he got the little practice fish he showing everybody. But I guess what he call himself now, the shark. You might want to tell him, man, sharks don't do well in fresh water. They can drown. Trust me.
All right, so let me put another poll question up here for the fine peoples that are here watching. Who will win on Logan Martin?
Everybody knows.
June 8th. Now, this will be live. You guys will actually be able to hear us talking back and forth. You guys will be able to participate in the chat. So this will be a live beatdown that you guys will witness. And if anybody is not familiar with how we do this, just search MoneyBass Neely Henry, and you will see one of the previous ones, or MoneyBass Battle of the Anglers. And you guys will see the format that we will be out there doing. So you'll see both of us on the screen. We'll be out on the water. You'll see the whole thing. We'll be able to communicate with each other. You guys can chime in and offer suggestions to help him out, because he's going to need some help out there on the lake.
I don't need no help, baby. I don't need no help.
So who will win on June 8th on Logan Martin? So we're gonna keep it simple. Will it be your friendly neighborhood MoneyBass, or will it be the problem starter Chicken Hawk? You like the intros on that? All right, so that poll is live and in action, guys. So if you have been a member or a viewer of the channel for a while, you pretty much know what we're talking about. So I'm going to see this guy out here on Logan Martin. He's been running for a while. I've already took it to him twice. We were doing the best out of 5. So he's about to be out.
Wait, talk about twice. Where did you get this twice from?
Actually, it's 3. You don't want to count one of them.
Oh, okay. So you gonna count that little one, but you actually hung me up and spun the boat around, and it threw where I was gonna throw.
That would make it 3, because I already beat you down on Gunnersville. Then we met up on Neely Henry.
You did not beat me on Gunnersville. How can you bring up the
clip? Do you want me to bring up the clip? So I already beat you down on Gunnersville. If anybody has a question about it, just search MoneyBass Chicken Hawk Gunnersville on YouTube, and you will see what we're talking about. So I got you on Gunnersville. I got you on goodness, what was the other lake that Neely Henry, and then we came out here for a quick spanking on Lake Lanier,
which was a setup, a complete setup,
where we were both on the same boat, and you actually physically attacked me and knocked my fish out of my hand. I've never seen that before. You actually physically attacked me and tried to knock my fish off of the rod while I was reeling it in. First, you tried to grab my fishing pole and shake my fish off. That didn't work. I still was able to flip it to the boat. Now, when I'm holding my fish, you come and try to knock it out of my. I almost knocked it back in the water. So yeah, that was definitely a foul. And what we've been talking about during this live stream is people that are living in the gray. That was definitely living in the gray to physically assault somebody.
You're gonna make up a rule on the fly. That's what you just did. But I was not trying. I was trying to give you a hand. And you moved and I accidentally hit the fish, and the fish kind of fell.
All right.
I mean, but the fish was so small. I mean, you know,
a win is a win.
Okay.
Thank you very much. A win is a win. All right. So look, I've been rolling for about an hour and a half, people. So we're about to roll on out. But make sure you guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, and share the channel, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be right here back at the same place. You never know what we're going to talk about next time. And like I said, you never know who is going to be in the chat or who is going to be watching, guys. So really, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. So I'm going to go ahead and head on out, guys. Oh, wait a minute.
Hey.
Got to give a big shout out to Joe Winkler. We got Joe Winkler checking in. What were you about to say?
I said, what you like my what Joe Wing said, BR. He got talking about Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge in the house, baby. That's what's up. But anyway, you know how we do it out the boot, baby. We throw these subliminal things to people. That's how you never know. You mess around with somebody at the boot, next thing you know, you got a guy hit in the back of the head by somebody else. That's the way we roll. But anyway, what I wanted to tell you is, you notice my little stage name? I got my little stage name there. What's my stage name? Read it out loud, baby.
You know what? Can you see the screen? Because it's not showing up.
Because you probably took it off. That's all right.
Yeah,
it's called That Net Man Maker.
Right. The Net Man. So yes,
no,
the Net Man.
That Net Man Maker.
It's cut off on the screen. It just says the
Net Man. When you gonna get cut off, when I get you on that water, I'm gonna make you a net man. I'm gonna make you a good net man.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right, fine peoples. You've heard enough of this foolishness for tonight. So we're gonna head on out. All right, y'all. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Look at the hawk.